Sony sent me this C80 microphone to review. So let's do that. Alright, the Sony C80. We can all talk about audio for hours, and I see that happen a lot on the internet, but what I think we should actually do is first taking a good listen to it. So let's use this thing where it's supposed to be used for, and that is recording some music. You are going to listen to a shootout between the Sony C80, this one, the Sony C100, which is its bigger dual capsule brother, the AKG C414, the Lewitt LCT 440, and as a top-end comparison, a Neumann U47 FAT. The song is called Unrest. It's performed by Rianne and produced by Jornt. Links will all be in the description down below.
Everyone is slow, everything is stressed, to the point where you couldn't care more, where you couldn't care less. It's all an experiment, it's all a test, but at least it drives away the unrest. Everything feels slow, everyone is stressed, to the point where you couldn't care more, where you couldn't care less. It's all an experience, it's all a mess, but at least it drives away the pain you feel in your chest. Everything is slow, everyone feels stressed, to the point where you couldn't care more, where you couldn't care less. You never know beforehand, you might never understand, just hope it will be better at the other Everyone is slow, everything is stressed, to the point where you couldn't care more, where you couldn't care less. You never know beforehand, you might never understand, just hope it will be better at the other
Alright, few small notes. I've used the same preamps on all channels and I also used the same processing on all channels. Also, I've added some reverb, and the reverb was of course fed by the microphone that you were hearing at that exact moment. All the backing vocals that you could hear were pre-recorded by Rianne and Jornt. Now, I do think that that comparison clip already says a lot, but here are my thoughts. When comparing the C80 with the C100, I was expecting some differences in the high frequencies. And that is because the C100 has an extra high frequency membrane in there. It's a dual membrane microphone. However, the biggest difference that I noticed was actually in the lower frequencies. Let's say the 100 to 500 Hertz range. And I most of all noticed that it was more pronounced. If you really listen closely, you can also hear that it's a dual capsule microphone and that the C80, which is a single capsule microphone, tends to sound a little bit more natural. However, these differences are so small. Really, they are so small. Then the C80 versus the AKG C414. And honestly, I was actually expecting a bit more from the C414, but for me, the C80, at least for this recording, was a clear winner. And what for me was the most notable was the difference in pickup pattern. The C414 captured a lot more of the room sound. And I actually went back to the microphone to check if it wasn't set to Omni, because I was really confused a bit by it. But I just think that the pickup pattern from a C414 is different from the C80. Then the Lewitt LCT 440 versus the Sony C80, which by the way was a factory made one. It wasn't the one that I assembled myself, because I don't think that's a fair comparison. In terms of quality and performance, I do think that the LCT 440 and the C80 are really on the same level. However, the LCT 440 has a certain edge, a certain brightness or character in the high frequencies, which really is a love it or hate it situation. And I think a choice between those two really depends on what your taste is and also on what the thing that you are recording with it is going to be. And then of course the Neumann U47 versus the C80, which isn't really a fair comparison from a price point, but I wanted to put this in the comparison because it's an often recognized microphone. And what I found really interesting on the U47 is how much character it has and how well it captures the soul of the performer. And you can clearly hear that in how the U47 accentuates the mid frequencies. However, when talking about precision, I think that the C80 sounds a bit more precise than the U47. The U47 tends to have a lot more character. So, the Sony C80, I think it's a very strong microphone, definitely for its price and also its size, because this thing is really tiny. And in some situations that can help. As you all know, I normally present my videos with a pretty big tube microphone, and that can get a little bit, in the way between the camera and me. And having a smaller microphone with a good performance can really help in such situations. Now, I really want to thank Rianne, Jornt and Krijn for helping me with the recording that I used in this video. So if you all are watching, thanks a lot. I also want to say for the disclosure that Sony did send me this microphone, which I can keep to use in future comparison videos. However, the people that I named before, they were paid out of my own pocket. Sony doesn't sponsor this or whatever. And I want to keep it that way because I think it's fair to operate independent from manufacturers. So if you want to support me, really consider buying your gear using my affiliate links. You can buy your hardware using Neumann or Sweetwater, or your software using Plugin Boutique over here. The links are also in the description down below. Another way to support the independence of this channel is by becoming a channel member. You can do that on YouTube by pressing the join button underneath this video, or on Patreon, which I'll link over here. The extra content that you're getting for the membership is the same on both. Last way to support me is of course by watching more videos, so don't forget to subscribe and check out this video. Thanks a lot for watching, keep pushing, and bye bye.